Since his trade to the Blues in 2010, Jaroslav Halak has owned his former club with a 3-0 record and a minuscule 0.97 goals against average. Earlier this year, he was brilliant again in a 3-2 shootout win, including a late save on a penalty shot. Tonight, he looks to do it again. Blues and Canadiens next. It is the second and final regular season meeting between the Blues and the Habs. As we are set for tonight's action, our top starting goaltender, Jaro Halak, against his old club, is 3-0 on the year, 16-6-2, the same number of wins as Carey Price. Price stopped 26 of 27 in his last start, a 3-1 win over Phoenix. Blues hockey is brought to you by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. And for the Blues, it is Berglund, Tarasenko, and Payarvi against Rennie Bourque, Brandon Prost, and Lars Eller. And the Blues work it in. For the Canadiens, it is Andrei Markov. Now Berglund swoops down, gets some support from Payarvi. Wraparound try and a save by Price, as Payarvi tried to get it into the backhand, and the big guy Price held his ground.
Yeah, no surprise there that we start off with a little bit of that physicality going on right there. But for Magnus Payarvi on the backhander, he's a left-hand shot. This is one area when you look at video of Carey Price, paddle down on this side, he's really good at it. Really strong right there. He's got the right paddle on the ice. A lot of times if you do that, that puck will get pushed out, at least for a semi-rebound. There it got jammed underneath the glove of Carey Price.
Price is fourth in goals against, third in save percentage. Having a marvelous year. Former first rounder back in 05. And that is dropped unfairly. It is Steen centering Schwartz and Oshie. Backes, as we said, did skate this morning and is expected to skate again tomorrow before the Blues embark on a 2-game road trip. And we'll see if he plays on the weekend in Edmonton, Calgary. But it is possible. As Schwartz on the attack against Subban. Puck in front, and that is knocked away by Ales Galchenyuk. And Galchenyuk gets the puck in deep. It is Bouwmeester for Schwartz, and then Oshie follows up. Trying to get it back to Steen. Now Bouwmeester with it, and this will be an icing call against the Blues.
Well, PK Subban leads the Montreal Canadiens in scoring as we take a look at our Toyota keys to the game. As we see early on here with the Blues, forget it's the first period, just go out and play and own it down low and then pump it back to the D at the point. And then that first shot's going to be a key. Montreal's an excellent shot blocking team.
Yeah, they lead the league in shots blocked, close to 700. At the line, it is Douglas Murray, the former Shark. Now Steen gets it back for Pietrangelo. On defense again with Bouwmeester. And that's lobbed ahead by Schwartz. And recovered by Rafael Diaz, who's out of Switzerland.
Well, that last play, that's an area just before that. That icing call was a result, Bernie, of a turnover by TJ Oshie trying to cut back into the play. And that's an area that the Blues really want to focus on early on in these hockey games, the fundamentals of it.
I would agree, Panger, that east-west, it's got to be north and south. And I think TJ Oshie right now is trying to do a little too much without David Backes in the lineup. I think you just got to get back to basics.
Now White ahead, right up to Benner. Benner, a great save on Bernabal by Jaro Halak as Bernabal went right through the middle and tested Halak. That goes down the ice on goal, no icing.
We saw that in Montreal in early November. Bernabal had an excellent hockey game. He was playing on the top line, and his speed is something else. The Blues have got to take advantage or take care of that. With White making a nice pass, Bournival gets some speed right in the middle of the ice. There's Ryan White and Brendan Morrow. Here's the nice crisp pass right through the middle of the ice. And Bournival goes back to the forehand and a great save with the blocker. Jaroslav Halak, that's one of his great strengths against left-hand shots. He's really good with the blocker right there. It's almost comparison. When we watch Jaro practice in and practice out, he's good against left-hand shots, and that's not common. Usually, you know, it's a glove against the right-hand shot, but he's good at that.
Darren, were the Blues making a change there, or was the defense just too spread far apart?
Looked like there was a little widening right there. And I think they were expecting a dumping, to be quite honest with you. I might be wrong. I'm going to look at that again, but...
Now we have a penalty called here as Morrow goes down. It's against the Blues. Lars Eller now for Prost as Price goes off for the extra man. Now for Bourque, the former Flame. And it's touched by Ian Cole. And the first penalty goes to the Blues for holding.
Well, not a real fluid start to this hockey game. And for Ken Hitchcock, he's not going to be happy about the turnovers. But if we stop it right here, we're talking about players going this way, and now look what happens. The puck gets one bounce there, turned over. So, Bernie, that's what happened. And then behind the play, so Barrett Jackman's expecting that puck to go north. It doesn't go north, and then you're caught flat-footed. And here's the minor penalty from behind. That's on Bourque.
You know, Penger, again, it's those layers, defensive layers that Ken Hitchcock keeps talking about. I mean, everybody was going forward there. I mean, everybody's got to kind of read the play a little better. That's got to go deep before he can make any move.
So the Canadians on the power play. They're sixth best at 22.4%. The Blues on the kill are ranked ninth at 84.5%. This is moved in by Gallagher. Drop pass, Schwartz there, and here's a 2-on-1. Schwartz and Berglund. Schwartz right in to Berglund, shoots, and Price got over and made a good arm save.
What a save that was. Wow.
And now Max Pacioretty for the Canadians. Montreal went 0 for 1 on the power play. At home in that loss in the shootout. Now PK Subban for Thomas Plekanec. And that goes around the goal. Poked ahead by Shattenkirk. Schwartz near the line. Subban gets it across and a drive right on goal. And a save there by Halak. Rebound was in the front area for a moment, but now it's knocked away by Lapierre, the former Canadian. And of course, Lapierre grew up in the Montreal area. Has never registered a point against his former club. This is Galchenyuk. Canadians set it up on the power play. Plekanec now for Diaz. And Plekanec again, a shot right into the midsection of Halak, and no further play.
Well, Plekanec hasn't had much luck against his former goaltender, Yaroslav Halak, but here's the shorthanded chance. Great play on Subban there by Schwartz. 2-on-1, makes the pass to a left-hander, and, you know, from that angle there, you can see from our Plaza Tire service, Berglund gets control, but he's off balance right there. So he doesn't get maybe everything on it, but it's still an excellent save. Good pass there by Schwartz. Better save by the goalie. Here we go.
And here's a 3-on-1 shorthanded break. This time it's Oshie with Steen. To Steen, wide open. He scores! A new contract and a shorthanded goal.
Back-to-back 2-on-1 breaks while shorthanded. The Blues now have their second shorthanded goal of the year. Oh, this is a beauty. Roman Polak goes to the box, and Michel Therrien's team has more chances against than they do for. The face-off won by Steen, or was it pushed ahead? Regardless, 3 blue sweaters going north. Pietrangelo follows it up, but what a terrific shot by Steen. Look at that grin. That's worth 17.4 for the next 3 years after this one. Wow.
The Blues' second shorthanded goal this year, and the second against the Canadians. Steen gets it his 23rd of the year. Then it comes at 4:20. And now Subban picks it up for the Canadians. Oshie gets the assist. Subban hits the line. On for Bourque. And that shot off Bouwmeester's ankle and on the glass. Now Josh Georges, centered by Prost, to drive by Bourque. And that was turned away, I think, by Bouwmeester. And it goes back to center ice. So the goal by Steen from Oshie at 4:20. First a 2-on-1 and then a 3-on-1. Now Brendan Morrow gets it for the Blues with some time. And then a hit on Bouwmeester. And then Bouwmeester again for Roy. The Blues are back at full strength. And now it's Morrow. And he lobs it high. Stewart in there first on Markov. Now Morrow trying to center it. It was in the blue paint, cleaned up by the Canadians, and back they come. Down the boards, Bournival, and that shot is taken care of by Halak.
Well, as a left-hand shot, sliding over there on the right side, your eyes are seeing something, your stick is further away. Keep your eye on the left side. So his feet are going one way, the goalie's sliding with him, and he has the presence of mind to calm things down. And it's not the velocity he puts on it, it's how he places it against the grain like that. And a tough play for the goaltender, has to slide all the way from his right to his left.
And Steen scored the first goal in Montreal. 2 minutes and 38 seconds in, and there is the happy general manager Doug Armstrong.
You got that right. Good to see Kevin McDonald, assistant GM, and the Hall of Famer Al McGinnis there on the right. And I think Steen's going to go off right here for a holding call. Yes, he is behind the net. He lost his twig, and he's trying to take down Max Pacioretty.
St. Louis penalty, number 20, 2 minutes holding.
Mike Hasenfrantz making the call. Alongside Chris Lee, there are referees for tonight's game. As see Steen here loses his stick there, it kind of gives him a little bit of a yank. And the referee was just over to his left behind the goal line. Maybe Steener's thinking our first periods haven't been that good. We seem to be getting more chances shorthanded. I'm pretty. I'll go to the box too. See what happens here.
Mayor, that's why you're such a fine analyst. You've got it all covered.
Well, Steen is a thinking man's hockey player. We'll see if the Blues get another shorthanded chance. Canadians win the faceoff. Subban. Now worked in tight in front of Markov, and that puck bounced on him and then swatted down the ice by Pietrangelo. Subban and Markov the point men here, and two good ones.
Well, the one-timer from Subban is as good as it gets. He'll slide to the middle looking for that play, and it's tough to defend against it. He's got a great shot.
Gallagher, Desharnais, and Pacioretty up front for Montreal. In the skates of Pietrangelo. He wins the battle. Now for Oshie, and he hooks it by everybody. Then back into Montreal territory.
Two good clears by Pietrangelo. The first one, he rifles it right through the middle of the ice. And that one there, he makes sure he gets it out with pressure on him from behind.
Now it is Pacioretty coming off a 3-point night against Phoenix 2 nights ago in a 3-1 win. Markov in front, Gallagher, and bothered from behind. Now a drive from the right side by Pacioretty. That was blocked and then cleared down the ice by the Blues.
Yeah, the Montreal Canadiens really have a small group of forwards, so the fact of the matter is the Blues can win the battles in the corners, especially defensively, and get that puck down.
And now 50 to go in Steen's minor. Now Pietrangelo in there. He was upended a bit. Gets back on his skates. Comes back on the line. Subban on the far side for Plekanec. And then Galchenyuk in front. He has turned the wrong way now for Subban. Wrist shot. Got through. Saved by Halak. And it's under his left pad. And he's got it somewhere.
Yeah, he's reaching back with his glove, and he must have thought it snuck underneath his pad, but he wants to make sure. So he gets his glove behind his pad. And a good, smart play. Halak's off to a very good start in this game. No surprise with his record against his former team. He's 3-0, and there, that puck is underneath his pad. His mask comes off as well. And by the end of this play, his mask comes off. Plekanec is poking away, and he still, with his mask off, reaches back underneath his pad to keep it out.
Superb numbers, home and road.
Better on the road.
Canadians at home actually are worse on the power play. On the road, they're third best at 26%, which is a bit off.
That's an unbelievable number.
Now it is Prost working down low. 15 to go in the power play. And Lars Eller back for Diaz. Out high with Yemelin. Now Eller with it. Fakes it. Diaz winds up and a shot. Blocked in front, maybe by Pollock or Jackman. I'm not sure.
That's a couple of blocks
and it
in
is
a row
Jackman
there.
as he limps off. Here's Bourque for Prost. Blues are back at full strength. Canadians had 2 shots on the power play. That's stopped in front by Berglund. And away comes Steen, the goal scorer. For Roy, back to Steen. Right in chest. He scores! He is money!
Holy jumping, what a wrister that is. Wow. He uses the defenseman as a screen, pulls it back into his skates, changes the angle just enough, and whistles it over the glove of the goaltender, Carey Price, in one quick motion. You talk about an efficient goal scorer. That has been Steen. Good shot clock, though, in front. And there's the pullback, little wrister. Roy drops the puck, takes out the defenseman, gives a little bit more of an angle right there. And this one is a howitzer by Steen over the glove. The goalie doesn't see it at all.
And you saw Doug Armstrong up there. It was a sigh of relief. He's lucky he got the deal done.
Yeah, the price tag could have gone up every game with every goal. With 24 goals on the year, second best to Ovechkin's 28. Blues have scored in their last 2 shots on goal. Roy and Berglund get the assists. And now Subban has it for the Canadiens. To Josh Georges. So Steen has scored 2, and the Blues lead by 2. And now Ian Cole. That's tipped along by Porter. Price back of the goal. Almost lost it there to cruising Adam Krakow. The only healthy scratch tonight for the Blues is Carlo Koliakova, who was up on left wing the other night. Daniel Briere, by the way, is a healthy scratch tonight for the Canadiens, who was signed as a free agent this summer. Now Diaz for Desharnais. Chipped it in front, cleaned up by Halak. And then it is Gallagher in there. Douglas Murray, the former Shark, trying to hold it in. The Blues away. Almost had an odd man rush again. And now Pacioretty. He'll work on Jackman. Jackman tipped toward the corner. Crackle there. To his teammate, Kevin Shattenkirk. And on to Porter. And Porter diving, gets it all the way down. Price almost touched that end of the trap was away.
And one of the many keys of getting out to a 2-0 lead as well is getting that fourth line and some energy on the ice and a good rotation. I can imagine that that's what Ken Hitchcock's going to do here as this period rolls along.
And now Pietrangelo for Oshie. On with Schwartz and Steen. Penalty call against Montreal. Bouwmeester a drive, and it's on goal. And a save by Price. And now the Blues will get their first power play. Alexander Steen has done it again. A short-handed goal. And then another one at 7:55.
Well, Emelin heads to the penalty box, a big part of their defense. He's a rough, rugged customer coming off a torn ACL. He's off for hooking. Keep your eye on the stick there of Roy. He blocks it first. That allows Berglund to pick it up, fronting the puck, and now you've got this 2-on-1 break, and a good play by Roy. Kind of pokes right into Emelin right there, and then the shot is a perfect one. And from our angle, too, John Kelly, we could see that perfectly, the room he had under the bar on the glove side.
He has now scored 4 goals in his last 4 games against the Canadiens. And now the Blues get their first power play as Emelin's gone for hooking at 10:02. Blues are 0 for 5 in their last 2 games. Here's Stewart. For Shattenkirk to Steen. He fakes it. Blocked by Plekanec. Up front it is Stewart, Roy, and Oshie. And it's lobbed high, and it goes over Shattenkirk's head and down the ice.
Well, that was a terrific entry into the zone by the Blues. It started with Steen in his own zone, making a good, crisp, hard pass.
Now Stewart spins it low. Canadians break it up. I mentioned the Blues have not scored in their last 2. Darren, they have not gone 3 games in a row all year without scoring a power play goal. That's how consistent they have been.
Well, I tell you what, the Blues, Bernie, that's right in front of you. They were lucky they didn't get too many men on the ice.
Yeah, there was not a lot of communication here on the bench. No one knew who was going, which is, they automatically know. The coach was getting plenty of notice who was going.
Morrow gets to it. Tarasenko for Bouwmeester to Pietrangelo. 55 to go in the power play. And then Berglund sets up. His pass down low for Morrow. Murray got a stick on that. Well, Berglund again comes free to Ryan White. And White will pick it open. He didn't clear it down the ice. Up in Montreal, the Blues were 0 for 4 with the power play. That's tipped along by Tarasenko. Now Georges for Subban. Leaves it for Eller. And again, an easy clear for Montreal.
Subban gave Eller all the time in the world. He did a good job of getting on the inside of Berglund. And that was an easy clear there. The Blues have had more spark while shorthanded than they have so far on the power play.
They really have. As Steen can't get in. 10 to go in the power play. And now Shattenkirk up the middle. Oshie try to move in. Schwartz does. Now Jaden Schwartz throws it back to the line. Free and Cole, a shot and a save there by Price. Canadians are back at full strength. No shots On the power play, a wrister again by Cole, missed the target. And then Shattenkirk buries Yemelin on the near side.
That's a good hit by Shattenkirk because he waited for Yemelin to get his positioning, so he went shoulder to shoulder and no boarding call. That was a smart play there by Shattenkirk.
Well, are you looking for the perfect stocking stuffer? How about a Blues holiday pack? Holiday packs include 5 great games, and you also get a Blues scarf for every 2 packs purchased. Visit stlouisblues.com/holiday packs for more details.
There's Santa. Santa's having a cold Bud Light.
He looks a little heavier than he did the other night against San Jose, so he's putting on weight for the big journey.
He lost his hat.
That toasted ravioli. That'll do it to you.
There's Lars Eller, the former Blue. Locke plays it for Polak. And that pass bounces to center ice. Diaz. And that goes by everybody. And that will be an icing call against the Canadiens.
Well, Chris Porter gets a chance again on the ice with the injuries to David Backes. You know, Ryan Reeves is scooting around pretty good too. Ryan Reeves getting involved in the pregame soccer as well. Does that tell us that he's getting closer or just missing the boys?
And David Backes is in the house, sitting between Corey Hirsch and Ray Bennett. And Backes, good chance he will join the club. Reeves will join the club as well on the Western trip.
So David Backes is part of the the leadership group also for Team USA for the upcoming Olympics. And now he's sitting between the coaches up there, getting some technical and.
He's a smart man, a very, very smart man. And the Blues hope to get him back in the very near future. But I was talking to Reeves this morning, and he is still hoping to be back in early January, which would be about 6 weeks. Here's Pietrangelo, a drive, and a pad save there by Price. And the rebound is fired to center ice. And now it is Tarasenko for Berglund. Shots in the game, 7-7. Blues lead on a pair of Steen goals. Comes around, picked off by Chris Stewart. And he was checked by Gallagher. Now it's Morrow back of the cage. Morrow has Stewart in front, gets it there, shoots. He scores! Stewart! And it's 3-0 for the good guys.
What a pass. Outstanding pass down low by Morrow. And he waited for Stewart to get open. Stewart nearly had the first play with that little toe drag, just got poked away, but the Blues kept it into the zone. And now Stewart's got his 10th. You keep your eye on Stewart. He's going to come around on the right side. Morrow behind that. He stops, pulls up, he waits. Max Pacioretty is very slow, collapsing, gliding back right there. And Pacioretty's the closest one too. He stops moving. If he moves just a little bit, he's able to lift the stick of Stewart, but he doesn't. And his goaltender gets hung out to dry. A good shot there by Stewart.
5 goals in his last 5 games. He has caught fire at the right time in the Blues with a 3-0 lead. What a start for Steen, Stewart, and the Blues, who lead 3-0. That last goal, Stewart, from Morrow and Jackman.
A couple of real good plays here. Look at the traffic in front, though. Derek Roy does another good job here. That goes under the bar, over the head, and in the net. That's the 6-hole right there. That's over the noggin, under the bar, and boy, is Ray Bennett. He doesn't get a whole lot of credit. He just goes about his business workmanlike. But he has done a great job of working with Stewart, and Stewart working with the coaching staff, just improving in all areas of his game. And his confidence is growing. We can see that on and off the ice.
But as Hitch said, Stewart is accepting more coaching as we go along here. And as you said, Ray Bennett has done a lot of one-on-one work with Chris Stewart. And for Morrow, that is career assist number 300. And that is a beauty for number 300.
And again, one constant. Look at the traffic in front. Derek Roy on that 2-on-1 break that Steen scored. He went right to the net. And that play right there. So there's Derek Roy, not the biggest guy in the world, but going to the right areas of the ice.
Now it's centered by Schwartz. Steen gives Trust a bit of a whack, and now Lars Eller away. And puts it off the boards. Oshie back defensively along with Jackman. Now Jackman loses his twig. And Josh Jordan for Subban. And that shot blocked by Schwartz. And then Rennie Bourque twisted around by Shattenkirk. Subban again. And that goes down low. Oshie had his stick held and a penalty call against the Canadians. I think it's on Prost. As he grabbed the stick, delayed call here. Oshie comes in for Steen, and stepping across is Georges to touch it. And now we have a collision in front. And that is Oshie down.
And Brandon Prost, number 8, was following him back. Prost is a tough customer, and he takes down Oshie, and then PK Subban's there as well, and he makes sure he doesn't bump into the goalie, so he gives TJ Oshie a little bit of a shove, but it is going to be Prost that's going off.
Number 8, 2 minutes for hooking, 2 minutes for roughing.
Wow, a double minor right there. 2 for hook and 2 for rough on the same shift. Your chairman of the St. Louis Blues and your Middlebury College hockey star, Tom Stillman, his wife Mary, and the great family there. And then we see the first minor penalty. How often do you see this? One hook, that's it. That was called. And here's the second one coming back. And Brandon Prost goes for 4 minutes.
And the Blues, their second power play tonight. And a pass by Steen comes to center ice. This marks the 4th time this year the Blues have scored 3 first-period goals. It is Shattenkirk. Up front, Oshie, Stewart, and Roy. And that rattles around. Subban with it. Now Oshie comes in to create some disturbance, but the Canadians have it. And Thomas Plekanec, their 4th-round pick in 01. He wanders in. Short-handed Roy picked his pocket, and the Blues get it back. Boy, a big chance here to extend the lead. Now Stewart with it. A shot, and that was tipped. Just missed. That was close. A tricky one for Price. Pietrangelo now for Roy. To Pietrangelo. And across to Steen. Looking for his 3rd tonight. And that pass, Eller got a piece of it, and now Eller will knock it away from Roy, who almost took a penalty there at center ice. And now Markov for Pacioretty, who was knocked down by Steen.
Yeah, Steen wanted that back because he knows that pass that he made over there kind of handcuffed Roy. There wasn't a whole lot of room and space to make a play after he got the puck.
And already 1:20 left. We're gone in the double minor. Blues send it deep. Brendan Morrow there gets it free. Back for Pietrangelo. He waits. Now lets it fly. And that was off the pad of Price. That got through.
Yeah, amazingly with all the bodies in front.
And now Pietrangelo again. Takes it. Hands on to Tarasenko. The key is to get the shot by that first layer. Pietrangelo gets it by everybody, and a save again by Price. He got it by everybody, and now we have Morrow pushing in front.
Yeah, good position in front of the net by Morrow. And PK Subban was the player right there trying to take care of the body position. And we all talk about PK Subban's time with the puck and the reigning Norris Trophy winner. He's only played 22.5 minutes on the PK, on the penalty kill for PK Subban. But there he is there in front, battling Brendan Morrow. Leads the Montreal Canadiens in points.
Former 2nd-round pick in 07. 2:14 to go in the Blues power play. And Berglund is tossed, so Morrow will take it against Plekanec. And Morrow kicks it back. Here's Bouwmeester. And a wrist shot just went wide. Price never moved, never saw it. And then steered around the near side and hammered all the way down by Mullen. As the lock leaves it for Pietrangelo. Blues final home game tonight before they go on the road for 2 and then a Christmas break. Blues aren't home again until December 28th against Chicago. Now 1:40 left in the double minor to Prost. Here comes Roy through the middle. Leading back in a bit. Give the Blues the line. Now Stewart for Steen. Oshie, nice quick pass. Down low. Roy across. Had Stewart over there, but somebody tipped it. I think Subban. Yep. And it comes to center.
Roy has probably another step over to towards the net, and he's got an open lane himself.
Yeah, Subban read that pretty good.
Yeah, he did.
Now Steen gets it down low. Roy in front. Pacioretty there to break it up, but he hands it right to Shattenkirk. Now pass in front, tipped by Stewart, and that goes out of play. And they will bring the face-off to center ice.
Stewart just reaching for that one there, trying to change the angle and tipping it over the player, over the defenseman, that he can go forward, but the angle of it going off the blade was just too much. Keep your eye on just the blade positioning. There's Stewart there, so he's probably just trying to get it beyond so it goes by the boards and he can still keep it alive, but the way he chipped it, it's over the glass, now to play. Face off in the neutral zone.
Shots 10-7 for the Blues. Now it is Berglund, Schwartz, and Tarasenko as the forwards. Canadians control the face-off. And Yemlin feathers it all the way down. Block sets it up for Steen. And then Tarasenko wasn't quite ready for it. So this power play has been a bit sluggish for the Blues. And the Canadians now go back. And Douglas Murray. 35 to go in the double minor. Schwartz working hard with Tarasenko. They get it free from the pile. Berglund for Steen. And a pass tipped away by Whitestick. And then Steen once again. And that pass off the mark. Blues again, almost too many men there. And Shattenkirk had to dance off quickly.
Petrangelo couldn't play the puck right there until Shattenkirk got off the ice.
Drop pass here for Stewart. Now picked up by Bouwmeester. And that's off a stick. Ends up back of the cage. Morrow trying to center one. That was intercepted. And now Prust is back. The Blues have 2 shots during that double minor. And a drive into the midsection by Plakanitz and a save by Halak. Well, the Cards winter warm-up returns January 18th through the 20th. Current players and Hall of Famers will be there to sign autographs. And Fox Sports Midwest will be there to bring you player interviews. Every dollar raised goes to Cardinals Care, so get your tickets at cardinals.com/winter warm-up or visit the team store. Boy, the Blues with a goal or 2 on that power play really could have taken control of this game.
Absolutely. There was not much urgency, was there, on that 4-minute power play?
Now Lapierre drive. Comes to Cracknell. Now to Bouwmeester. And that one was right into the mid of Carey Price.
The Blues are doing an excellent job, as we talked about before the game, getting the puck down low and then punting it back to the point. The Blues forwards are good at banking it off the boards. That enables the defenseman getting passes from Max Lapierre or whomever, and then walk in the middle of the ice and then having a chance to get the puck towards the net.
Changing those angles a little bit so they don't get all the shots blocked.
And as Darren said earlier, the Canadians had 38 blocked shots in Montreal. That's an amazing number. Puck comes around to Pietrangelo. 25 to go in the period. That shot is tipped to the corner. Now Steen picks it up. Here's Steen trying to get to the front. And a good job by Diaz at the last second.
Tried to dance him there, didn't he?
He almost did.
Tried to give him the old 9 of hearts right between the legs.
And now Schwartz for Steen. And fights off Ellerscheck. Hiroshi, great pass to Pietrangelo. In tight. And it's saved by Price. And now we get pushing at the buzzer. And that's Pietrangelo.
He's in an awkward spot right there.
Against the back of the net.
Yeah, his left skate is jammed up. See the netting? His skate is cutting the netting, actually, right there. He's trying to get his balance and not get pushed over.
And cooler heads will prevail.
That's like Harlem Globetrotters right there with this passing sequence. 1, oops, spinorama 2, through the legs 3, try to get his balance, and then he doesn't get much on that one there, but then the scrum ensues right after that, after Carey Price makes that easy little save with the paddle down.
Great first period, Pat Paris, I'm sure you would agree.
Oh, absolutely, John Kelly. The Blues, of course, coming into this game, outscored 35-33 in the first period. Tonight, though, well, they turned the tables and turned that stat around. 3 goals in the first period, 2 by Alexander Steen, who just, of course, inked a new 3-year extension. Coming up during the St. Paul GM Country Intermission Report, we'll have our high school hockey player of the week. Also, Bernie Federko comes up from between the benches. Join me here in the Bud Light Zone as we break down the first 20 minutes of play. A 20-minute period. It's all Blues, 3-0 after 1. Stay with us on Fox Sports Midwest. Well,
late yesterday, Alexander Steen signs a brand new 3-year contract. And congratulations to him. He has 2 goals tonight to celebrate. The Blues with a 3-0 lead. And we're joined by the Blues president of hockey operations and general manager Doug Armstrong. And congratulations. I know it's not something that you're really necessarily worried about, but it's certainly good to be put to bed right now.
Well, it's certainly great to have a player of that caliber with our group for this year and 3 more. And we're hoping for playoffs, obviously. And he's a big part of our franchise, and he's a leader on and off the ice, and it's great to have him here.
And this came together at a breakfast meeting in Ottawa, so it was a successful yet expensive breakfast for you.
Yeah, I should have let him pick up the tab now. No, we got together on Sunday morning in Ottawa, and we're just sort of having a State of the Union talk, and we got over onto his situation, and he told me he was ready to start talking, and it just took 2 or 3 phone calls, and we had the deal in place, and that shows a lot about Alex's character. When he said he was ready to get it done, he was ready to get it done.
Yeah, quite a day today, and it was great this morning at 9:30 a.m. Everybody huddled off here. There's Tom Stillman to the left and Bruce Affleck, but when you know you've got a player like that and he's under contract, but I think more importantly, Army, you've made sure that Bouwmeester, a good quality person, Alex Pietrangelo, a guy that not only represents the team but the city well, and then you've got Alexander Steen under contract. What a great bit of foundation.
Well, that's it. We wanted to get our cornerstone players taken care of. You can put Shattenkirk into that, and had David Backes under contract. So I really like the way we're set up, not only this year but moving forward, and it's good pieces to bring young players in around.
So then Steen all he does is score 2 goals to begin the game. But that's this year's contract. That's not next year's contract.
I love it when they make the manager look good.
Underway here in the second period, the Blues with a 3-0 lead. Again, Blues GM Doug Armstrong in our booth here. Every time he comes up here, good things happen. And we're expecting more of the same here today in the second period as Berglund gets it in. And that goes all the way down the ice. And Doug, obviously, it shows a lot about Alex and his character. A lot of times this morning when talking about the deal, he spoke about his great friend and the late Don Baisley, who was his agent and his dad's agent, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, Don is sorely missed in our game. He was a player representative out of Winnipeg, had a lot of European players, and we actually talked about him on Sunday, too, on the effect that he had on Alex and on Paul Cree, on Peter Forsberg, Teemu Selanne, a lot of great players Don had, and he's sorely missed and a great character person in our game.
Well, we are also missing some key players. So Steen last year during the lockout, he goes and he ends up playing in Modo, and he plays center ice. And it's not a position that's foreign to him, but now we got an injury with David Backes, and there it is at center, not playing the left wing. Pretty versatile guy. He can probably play any position you'd want him to play.
Well, that's it. It's great to have a guy that can play center ice or either wings, and then what he does on all the special teams. He's versatile. Quite a bit like TJ Oshie, actually. TJ can do that, and so can David Backes. Obviously, play the right wing. He's become a centerman for us. But I think that's what made that line work so well, Darren, is that on different sides of the ice they can take face-offs and they can really help each other out down low.
I agree, but the people that just saw us back on camera and you about 4 feet taller than me, they're wondering what just happened. You know that, huh?
I'm standing on a box.
It's a large one.
We're giving away all of Panger's secrets now. As Morrow gets it, Blues leading here 3-0. It is Morrow, Roy, and Stewart. Doug, why did the 3-year number feel so comfortable for you and for Alex?
Well, I think that Alex wants to be part of a winning franchise, and he likes the way we're set up right now. And I think the next 3 years, as we talked about having the 3 key defensemen, the puck movers signed long-term, and having Oshie and having Backes signed, it looked like a deal that he's very comfortable with, and it's going to allow us to be very competitive. And he wasn't worried about term as much as he worried about being a part of a competitive team.
And that's what the St. Louis Blues certainly are this year. As Desharnais lets it fly, and then a trick there against Ian Cole. And the Blues will go back to the power play.
Well, just earlier than that, the Blues might have got away with one along the boards. Real physical battle along the boards, and the Canadians were looking around, and then there's Gallagher.
Number 11.
Little guy that plays with a lot of heart. He ends up tripping him up, and it's pretty clear. So, Doug, you were watching after after the Blues got up to the 3-0 lead, then you've got a double minder. Things got a little quiet here. Those things as a manager, when you're watching from way up top, you're thinking, all right, boys, keep this thing going.
Well, that's you would have loved to put your heel on their throat and take all the life out of them, but we didn't do it. But right now we have a chance to get that fourth goal and extend this, and you don't want to let a team that's got the character of the Canadians hang around too long, because you're just really one bad break or something from going the wrong way. So this is a big power play for us. We got to, if we don't score, we have to be much more competitive. We have to get zone time. We have to get shots. We haven't been able to set up the way that we need to set up and sort of create momentum from your power play if you don't score.
Yeah, I think Blues had more momentum while they were shorthanded. They had a number of 2-on-1 breaks and some great chances, obviously.
Yeah, we had those two great chances. I thought Schwartzy made a nice play, and then obviously the play that Steen made to hang on to that puck and let Carey just slide just a little bit and then snap that in was a highly skilled play by a highly skilled player.
Absolutely. Boy, he's been efficient, hasn't he?
He doesn't waste many shots.
And he doesn't.
Blues 0 for 3 in the power play with a 3-0 lead. Would you like to go, or you want to stay for the power play goal, Doug?
Once we score the power play goal, I want to head back upstairs.
Okay, that's a deal. Here comes Oshie. In with Roy. And it comes back to Shattenkirk, but it rolls on him. And the Blues have to regroup.
Army, I get Hitch. I get to ask Hitch a question at the next break. You got anything in mind you want to ask him?
Yeah, ask him why the power play's not working.
He'll say it's Gary Agnew's power play.
And a drive by Steen. Now Tarasenko. Steen again. For Pietrangelo. Steen fakes it. Good feed into Tarasenko. Lets it go. And he had the top corner pick, but that hit glass. And the Canadians and Cross shorthanded. He works in with White. And a good job defensively by Pietrangelo. And 50 seconds left in the Blues power play.
And again, you see Tarasenko on that play, just waiting to see if Carey Price can go down on that butterfly. They've had success going under the bar, although the first couple, there's been a little bit of traffic in front of Price as well. The Blues have done a great job in front of him.
And now it is Eller. He is pinned. And the Blues work it free for Pietrangelo. And then picked up by Berglund. With 20 to go in the power play. And the Blues play dump and chase here. Price. Ooh, look at that play. That's a gutsy play by the goaltender right up the middle and down the ice. He looked like Ron Hextall there. And Bouwmeester late in the power play. And he'll go after it himself with Lapierre. And the Canadians break it up. And now it is Gallagher out of the box. They've killed it off. And Shattenkirk comes back, and he bothers Gallagher just enough, and he can't get a shot on goal. Now Plekanec winds up a drive and a right shoulder save by Halak.
Boy, has he had Plekanec's number? That's another good save. Plekanec had a great chance in the first period. He's got that penalty shot late in the game in Montreal. And Yarrow's been sharp against him.
He's one of my all-time underrated players. I think he's a dynamite player that doesn't get the recognition around the league that I think he deserves.
Yeah, Thomas Plekanec does a lot of things, doesn't he? They rely on him in every situation, and not the biggest guy. But you're right, he's got uncanny hockey sense and grit.
Now Markov, he was Chuck Schwartz in for Oshie. One-on-one, and a shot, and a good save there by Price as Oshie had a partial break, and the Canadians throw it all the way down the ice, and that will be an icing call.
All right, guys, well, I'm going to head back upstairs, so...
you walk slowly.
I will.
We'll put the timer on. Fans on Twitter, they're keeping in touch with it. They're keeping tabs. They know. So walk slowly. We'll see if we can't get you one, okay?
All right, and happy holidays to all of our fans out there, too.
You got it, Army. Thanks for going.
Thanks, Army. Shots in the game, 14-10. And the Blues lead 3-0. Steen wins it. And a quick drive by Schwartz. Now Schwartz gets it again. Heels it back for Bouwmeester. And then for Pietrangelo, a shot. And that was blocked. The Canadian has broken his stick. That's Galchenyuk. And now the Habs with it, and they flip it out. Then it comes to Bouwmeester. Canadians block that, and now it comes on the far side for Steen, and he darts in. Scored the first 2 goals tonight. Stewart has the other one for the Blues. Schwartz centers it. Kept in by Pietrangelo. Now for Oshie. Knocks it out of midair. And then out high again for Pietrangelo. Back for Oshie. And then into Steen. Chipped in front. Shot by Schwartz. That goes just wide. And then it's to the line again for Oshie. Nice high hoister to the corner. And then Steen bothered back of the goal by Douglas Murray. Steen with it. Trying to cut in front is Bouwmeester. That's blocked. And the Canadians back to center ice. And Plekanec. And he can't move around the Blues defense.
I think Petrangelo's been pretty sharp in this hockey game.
And that goes wide of the goal. But it's amazing, Darren. We had Doug Armstrong in our booth, a week ago, and talking about the Steen situation, and then just like that, it gets settled. So, congratulations to Doug and ownership, and obviously Alexander Steen. Tarasenko a shot.
Just like Darth Vader. He's sleuth-like. Huh? Never hear anything, and then it's done.
And a drive by Tarasenko again, hit glass. Yeah, that's the way you should operate.
Yep.
Now Payarvi for Berglund. Shattenkirk at the line. That was blocked in front by Georges. And the Canadians funnel the puck to center ice. And here's little Brendan Gallagher. 12th round pick in 2010. And Gallagher worked over by Jackman. And now Berglund comes back. Eller with it. He centers it. Goes all the way across. Held in by Diaz. Now for Eller. Pass to the front. That's blocked. And then Berglund for Shattenkirk. Shots in this period are 2-2. As the Blues maintain their 3-0 lead here in the Canadians.
And I agree with Doug Armstrong in his assessment of that first period. It kind of got lulled into a real quiet game while the Blues had that double minor on the power play. And, you know, there is nothing sure, nothing safe in the NHL anymore. So you get 3, you want to get 4. You get 4, you want to get 5 to make sure that you take any will or any chance that the other team can't come back. Because you know if the Blues were in this situation, and they have been lately giving up goals in the first period, but they end the game strong and nearly came back in San Jose, nearly came back in LA. And so you want to put the Montreal Canadiens away as much as possible.
And did come back in Columbus. We'll talk to Hitch after the break.
A 3-goal first period. What did you like in that first period?
Well, we had good energy. We scored. We got pucks behind their defensemen. We scored some nice goals because of it. I thought our checking was on top, and just got to keep going, Bernie.
Power play needs to get something going, though.
Yeah, they're good. They're good, and we're probably guilty of trying to make plays through it rather than just pounding the puck. But they're awful good.
Thanks, Hitch.
And there's a look at the president of the business side, Bruce Affleck, along with the Golden Brett, taking in tonight's game.
741 career regular season goals. The most prolific goal scorer in the history of the game.
I laughed today.
He would be in anyone's top 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
I laughed today. Oh.
Here's a 2-on-1. Oshie with it. And a drive, and a good save. Rebound. Bounced too high on Steen. And now back for Bouwmeester. Lets it fly, and a save again by Price. And Oshie has it again. Steen on the give and go. Georges has lost his stick, but it comes ahead for Plekanec. And that's pushed in by Subban. The Canadians give up another odd man rush.
And Carey Price has settled down. He's made some real good stops here in the second period and some high-quality goal-scoring chances for the Blues.
You know, guys, what I was going to say is that I listened to Brett Hull did an interview with Channel 5 with Frank Cusimano, and it was kind of funny that he said, Frank asked him if he could get out there even right now, could he score a goal? He said, well, no, but a 5-on-3, yeah, I probably could. so he still thinks he's got it. I tell you what, he can, man. Can he shoot it?
Yeah,
unbelievable.
No doubt about that. And you just saw that play there by TJ Oshie, and Oshie makes a really good play, and kind of trying to lure the goalie into thinking high glove, it looks like, and then he tries to pull it going high to the blocker. But a better save by Price.
Now it's touch ready back on the line. Markov. Yemelin fires it. And that's blocked, I think, by Payarvi and out of play.
Yeah, I agree. So Yemelin's shot there is meaning the faceoff's going to be on the inside. So the Montreal Canadiens switched up their defensive pairings the last game against in their last game, and they got 2 Russians together, Markov and Yemelin. They got 2 Canadians, Josh Georges and PK Subban now together.
That was a 3-1 win over Phoenix on Tuesday.
Yeah, 3 goals in the third period for the Montreal Canadiens to win that game.
And this is the delayed offside. The Blues with 3 goals tonight, Darren. They have now scored 117 goals on the year. That is 2 more than they scored all of last year. And of course, we played a 48-game season, but tonight is game number 34 for the Blues. So that's quite a pace they're on.
Incredible pace. They get a lot of offense from their D, a lot of confidence from that top line of Steen, Backes, and Oshie to start the year. Boy, did they carry this squad, though, for a large part of it. And obviously, the emergence of Jaden Schwartz and Vladdy Tarasenko as well. And now we're seeing Derek Roy and Chris Stewart coming along.
Yeah, they're getting some chemistry. Here's Gallagher trying to force his way to the front. And it goes back to the goal again. Pollock held a bit, and a penalty called on the Canadiens, I think, on Pacioretty for that grab on Pollock.
Yeah, Pacioretty was behind it and chasing it. And he reached out with his left paw and just grabbed onto Roman Pollock. Holding call. Face-off now, obviously in the offensive zone. The Blues have been excellent on the face-off to begin the power play. They're one of the best in the league at about 62%. Here's the battle in front. Now the puck squirts loose. See Pacioretty there? He grabbed on. And that was a subtle little play right there. And the referee caught a glimpse of it. Almost had no bearing in it because Roman Pollock was going anyway.
And when you take penalties 200 feet from your net, here's a drive by Shattenkirk. That's glove, but that does not make your coach happy when you take penalties that deep in the offensive zone. Blues are 0 for 4 tonight.
Now the Blues have got their wheels going, John, which is good. So they're really forcing the Montreal Canadiens to compete with them. And that's why they're actually taking the penalty. So it's good work by these Blues forwards right now.
And Bernie, the Blues, they know, like the Canadiens now, the referees are calling all these little hooks and holds tonight. Sometimes they let them go, not tonight. And the Habs win the faceoff. Georges shoots it all the way down the ice. It is Shattenkirk on defense with Steen up front. Oshie, Roy, and Stewart. Steen leads the Blues with 5 power play goals, and at least as far as players in the lineup tonight. Backes has 6. And the puck comes up the wall. Good hold in by Shattenkirk now for Stewart. He delays a bit. Handed on to Steen. Stewart couldn't shoot that. Now back for Steen. And then for Roy. Steen, a good hold in again. And the drive, tip, rebound. Oshie is robbed by the left pad of Price. Great chance there. Now Roy flips it back. Here's Steen. Again a drive and a blocker saved by Price. Saw that one all the way. Shattenkirk gets it low for Oshie. He is nudged by Subban. His pass hit Roy in front. Now Roy turns. Wide open drive. That was blocked at the defense. After a good steal by Roy. Shattenkirk for Oshie. Back to Steen.
Nice play.
Shattenkirk again with 45 to go in the power play. That's blocked in the slot. Blues send it high again. Shattenkirk for Steen. In front of Roy. Good backdoor feed, but that was just off the mark. And this is a much better power play for the Blues. And that is onside. Steen trying to run around Subban. And gets around the Canadian. Now to Tarasenko. In front. And then Burke on a shot. And a good save there by Price. He's keeping the Canadians in the game here.
Is he ever? Is he ever? He has clearly settled down, but mind you, not much of a chance on the goals in that first period. But what a power play. I like the way they used the middle of the ice. That outlet was Oshie up high, and then some good quick puck movement. They made some good adjustments here in the second period.
And the Blues 5 shots in this power play. Canadians are back at full strength. It is Jaden Schwartz. Wide open for Pietrangelo. And his drive. That was blocked in front, I believe, by Prost. Murray. And now Prost gets it to center ice. Long stretch pass, and that bounced on Berglund. And then the former Shark Murray around the boards. Barkov with it. White trying to clear it. That's kept in by Schwartz. And now Prost will go for a skate as the Blues make a change on the fly. With all the penalties tonight, we haven't seen much of this quarter. Lapierre cracked the line. They're on the ice here. Lapierre comes in for corner. Quick shot, and Price got over. Read it well and made a good save. It's still 3-0 Blues here in the second.
Power play needs to get something going, though.
Yeah, they're good. They're good, and we're probably guilty of trying to make plays through it rather than just pounding the puck. But they're awful good.
Thanks, Ed.
And the chances after that on the power play look really, really sharp. These are two good scoring chances on the power play. Another one right there, only equaled by the goaltending of Carey Price in the second period, but the cohesion, not standing around, constant movement, supporting one another. That was an excellent power play for one that didn't score a goal.
Price is good down low, isn't he?
Oh, is he ever? And, you know, the Blues in the first period really went high on him and managed to beat him with traffic in front. But you try beating that guy low, not happening. His legs are extremely quick, and he's got great technique.
Uh-oh, there's a push. And a Blues player is at Pollock, wide open in front. Oh, what a save by Pollock on Eller. And we get the whistle now as Pollock is in some difficulty. He was pushed into the end boards. And that was Bournival, I believe, who was involved with Pollock.
Well, Roman goes in there hard. Keep your eye. There's a little push, but he trips over the back of the skates. It looks like of Barrett Jackman. So as he's going backwards, let's keep our eye on the skates there. Does he trip? Yes, he does. And that's why. And then he hits his legs and he hits his head, and I didn't like the way his legs, went into the boards like that. No way to defend himself, but really the push wasn't that significant, but tripping over your partner's skates, he got clipped up right there, and that big fella, he goes down hard, and we all know, and we've seen him in a lot of situations, he doesn't stay down, so this has banged him up.
Yeah, Bernie, you might have had a better angle, but did his head hit the goalpost on the way by?
Yeah, it did, but I thought it was, as Panger said, I thought Johnny was more his legs. I was more concerned the way his legs hit the end boards. Kind of funny, so let's hope he's going to be like, Rowan's a tough guy. Tough guy. There he is. And you know what, guys? Speaking of tough guys, I want to send out a quick hello to Zach Eplin, who's at Children's Hospital. Zach is going through some more cancer treatments. He came down a few weeks ago to meet the guys here. He was at the game, and we want Zach to know that we're pulling for you, Zach. You're going to beat this. Again, Zach was part of the Jabot High School soccer champions. They were the Illinois Class A state champions earlier this year. So, Zach, you get well. You're going to beat this, and we're going to see you at a game real soon here again.
You got that right, and we'd love to have Zach up here in the booth. Bernie?
We're going to get him here. We're going to get him here. You bet.
You got that right.
He could be our spotter up here for a game.
Yep.
He'd like that.
Oh, what a save! Rebound, they score! Gallagher gets the rebound after Halak made an incredible save, and it's 3-1.
Did he ever? The first redirection up high, Yarrow gets the blocker up, and I believe Gallagher knocked this out of midair. Great hand-eye coordination by the runner-up for the Calder Trophy last year. That's your Rookie of the Year. And he comes in on the right. He hounds it there on the turnover, goes to the front of the net. The first one deflected, and then, bangs it out of midair underneath the arm of Yarrow Halak. Great save on the first one there by Halak. And then the rebound. Yep. Clean. And with no one giving him any duress.
Here he comes again, a drive blocked by Jackman. That's his first goal in 12 games, 10th of the year. At 12:51, and that cuts the Blues lead to 3-1. This will be an icing call against St. Louis.
Assisted by number 51.
For Michel Therrien, who's done an excellent job as the coach of the Montreal Canadiens. They're 21-12-3. This is a good hockey club here. And you knew that after that first period that there was going to be a wake-up call, whether it was from the players or from the coaching staff. And, now Montreal likely feels like they're in this hockey game. A game in which was 3-0 and could have been 4 or 5-0 with the power plays the Blues have. Now we've got ourselves a hockey game here.
Gallagher gets it from Desharnais at 12:51 as Alexander Steen gets in there. Oshie overskates it. Now he gets it back. Oshie, Steen, and Schwartz, the forward line. And, of course, Schwartz played with Oshie and Backus in last year's playoffs. And PK Subban tipped along by Bournival. Jackman, the first man back. And fights off the forecheck of Bournival. Bergen trying to pry it free. Well, Bournival again. Shots in this period, 10-5 for the Blues, but the Canadians have the only goal of the period. Now Berglund to center ice. In for Tarasenko. He delays, and a shot hit the outside of the goal. Man, can he shoot it.
It's uncanny. And when it looks like it's going to get blocked, he somehow manages to get it through.
Now Galchenyuk in the corner. And then Lars Eller comes along. Eller gets it in the goal crease area. And that's cleaned up by Tarasenko. And now to center ice for Payarby. Linesman gets in the way of Payarby. And then Bouwmeester caught. And here come the Canadians back in. Galchenyuk for Plekanec. He delays. And a pass across. Now filtered through the goal crease area.
What a
Good
play
job
by
Bouwmeester.
Man.
Yemelin at the line. Now Plekanec. He lost the handle up in the air. Gloved away by Bouwmeester. And then Payarby will settle the puck and get across the red line. With 5:05 to go here in the second period. Blues leading 3-1. And little Brian Giunta comes in. That drive hits the leg of Cole. And a turning Shattenkirk finds Porter at center ice. And that goes deep. And Price to handle it. Now Markov up the boards. White takes a hit from Porter. Here are the Canadians coming in. Moen a drop pass and Cracknell in the back check. He broke it up. And Cracknell to center ice. Trying to hit Lapierre. Here's Prost. Cracknell comes in, almost stole that. And now Subban to center ice. Canadians have lost 12 games this year, and 8 of the 12 have been by 1 goal. So they've been in virtually every game, and they're back in this game down by 2.
Well, Alexander Steen is the recipient of our Mazda drive to the net, and well, why wouldn't he be? Here's goal number 1, right off the hop, fresh off a new 3-year contract extension. Here's goal number 2, a snapper high under the bar, a world-class shot there by Alexander Steen. His 23rd and 24th goals of the year, one of them short-handed.
And now Steen wins the face-off with 4:20 left here in the second period. And then Oshie for Schwartz. Steen trying to hunt it down back of the goal. Ian Cole pinches in. But here come the Canadians to center ice. And Desharnais for Pacioretty. Pollock, good to see him back. And then Oshie takes down his man.
Yeah, and I got another look at that, and he clearly hit his jaw and his face off the side of the net before he went in there, skates first.
And here comes Big Roman on the attack. Takes the hip check from Subban, and Pacioretty for Douglas Murray. That's floated to center ice.
And you can't hurt that noggin. It's tough to hurt that noggin.
He came over and said to Ray Barilli just now, hey, I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
That was Roman did?
Yeah.
Nice.
Now the puck back to the line. Bouwmeester has to backpedal a bit. And now it's Derek Roy. Up the middle, Morrow. Now for Stewart. Here's Morrow again. Had a beauty of an assist back in the first period. That was on Steen's second goal. Or rather on Stewart's goal, the third goal. As Bouwmeester is taken out by Yeller. And Stewart pries it free with 3 minutes left here in the period. And Stewart gets it out. Flipped in, Pietrangelo gloves it down. Now for Morrow, back to Pietrangelo. And up the boards and out. A Canadian player lost his stick off the board. Berglund, and he is shouldered by Yemelin. And now the Blues make a change on the fly. Then up to Giunta, the former Devil. And that goes all the way down. Shattenkirk has some room back to center ice. Down to Jackman. Payarby is bumped hard there by Subban.
Subban not going to give up that blue line there. He just held that. I don't think Payarby expected that.
Did not see him coming. But Payarby and Berglund continue to dig down low. Tarasenko gets it a shot. And that is taken care of by Price. And now we get some pushing in the corner. Subban and Payarby. By the way, a roster freeze will go in effect tonight at midnight. Teams are not allowed to make any deals for the next couple of weeks.
Well, we got a moment. We'd like to wish Dan O'Neill, that'd be Junior, a very happy birthday. This is Doug Armstrong, the president and general manager. Take some notes.
The roster freeze expires on December 27th. And Darren, they do that for courtesy of the player. You don't want to get traded the day before Christmas or something like that.
No.
That would not be good.
Tough enough that teams play on the 24th and the 26th, some teams every single year. I mean, that's...
Well, not the 24th, the 23rd.
23rd, 23rd, sorry.
Although years ago, you were allowed to play on Christmas Day. That was back in the 70s. Thank goodness they changed that.
Yes, I would agree with that, John.
Did you ever play on Christmas, Bernie?
No, I was already, that was
the rule?
before me, yep. 24th and 25th were the only time as often. It's nice to see now that they've added the 26th to that. I'd like to see them add 27th, which we're going to get this way. Anyway, we're doing it.
Yeah, the Blues don't play after Christmas until the 28th. Now Stewart, 1:25 to go in the period. Tipped in by Morrow. And then Yemlin for Markov.
He's got a broken stick, or he's got a right-handed stick?
Yes, he does.
He's got a right-handed stick, huh?
He's got a right-handed stick, and he played it pretty good there, Panger. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Kind of looks like your wedge game.
Well, Morrow at center ice. Takes care of Galchenyuk, and now it's Derek Roy down the left wing side. That's blocked. Final minute here in the second period. Gianton trying to sneak down the wall.
He was lucky he didn't get called for a penalty. He grabbed that in the palm of his hand and kind of used it and went around Bouwmeester.
As Ian Cole lugs the mail to center ice. And can't get that deep. Subban with it for the Canadians. And now Morrow has it. He turns it the other way. And bounces one to the Canadian zone. Back to center ice now for Bouwmeester. And up for Payarvi. Gets a piece of that. And it's Subban turning.
The Blues have done a good job of taking away that ice in front of PK Subban. Because once he gets going, he's a tough locomotive to stop when he gets ahead of steam. But the Blues have not allowed him that opportunity.
Now Tarasenko, 7 to go in the period. In for Payarvi. Dropped off. Payarvi again. And that will do it. Berglund at the bunker. And the period comes to an end. So the story of this game, a great start for the Blues. Can't get a power play goal to extend the lead. And now Gallagher's goal has the Canadians within striking distance.
Yeah, the Blues had a lot of good chances against Carey Price, but Yaroslav Halak going up against his old teammate. He's got a nice 3-1 lead heading into the third.
Those have outshot the Canadians 23-14 after 2. Let's go to Pat.
J.K. Panger, thank you very much. Welcome back inside the Bud Light Zone. Of course, coming up momentarily on the Jack in the Box intermission report, we're going to hear from T.J. Oshie, who set up Alexander Steen's first goal, the shorthander in that first period. Also, we'll show you the second period highlights. Bernie will join me up here to break it all down. And, of course, our dirt cheap shot of the game. After 40 minutes of play here at Scottrade, it's Alexander Steen with a pair, Chris Stewart with a goal as well, and a 3-1 Blues lead over the Canadians. Stay with us on your home of the Blues, Fox Sports Midwest.
Well, the St. Louis Blues entered the NHL back in 1967, and they established quite the relationship with the Montreal Canadiens as they met the Habs in the finals the first 2 years. Here in the first year, every game in the final was decided by 1 goal, and 2 went to overtime.
Yeah, thanks to that guy we just saw.
Yeah, number 1.
Mr. Goalie. I mean, Glenn Hall. Oh, my goodness. Just so great. And there's Jean Beliveau. He's on crutches. Banged up. He's got Gup Worsley to his left right there. And one of the great centermen of all time. Just a gentleman, huh, Bernie?
And there are the numbers from Jean Beliveau. 10 Stanley Cups.
And you know what, the first time, I wore number 4 until I was 16 years old. He was my hero, guys, and I'll tell you what, when I got to meet him for the first time, I was in 7th heaven, to say the least. And I couldn't believe the size of him. You know, what a huge man for that era, too, but what a first-class guy, and what a player. What a player.
What a gentleman.
Oh, isn't that the truth, Banger?
Yeah.
Blues hockey is brought to you by Bud Light. It's a sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
And how about those early years? How about the Montreal Canadian connection? I mean, Scotty Bowman, Doug Harvey, Dickie Moore.
Well, so many of the Canadians that came over, Claude LaRose.
Oh, a Canadian player is down in the corner. That is Yemlin. And I was following the puck. I have no idea what happened to him, but the training staff out quickly.
Well, Berglund goes to play it, and you see his stick comes up. Berglund lets it go, and his follow-through of his stick, the shaft of the stick, just clips him up here. Obviously, it's unintentional, but it's a follow-through. It's a high stick right there. The referee was looking, I think, the other way when that happened, and neither one of the referees had their stick up. Neither one of the referees saw it. But, you know, even though it is a follow-through, there's still a responsibility, you know, with your stick. And Berglund didn't even know it either. He had no idea.
And he will go to the Canadiens bench. And
the only good news, Bernie, is that's not an old Sherwood PMT or that or that white Titan that you used to use that weighed about 94 pounds.
Isn't that the truth? But he's playing with his chiclets right now. Looks like he didn't lose any. And who knows if they're all there? I mean, those could be fake ones to start with. Who knows?
He missed 20 games earlier with a knee injury. As the Canadiens win the faceoff, Subban, he can't move it by Tarasenko. And now Payarvi with it. He is chased by Eller. And I think a penalty coming up here on the Blues as Eller is knocked down at a holding minor against the Blues.
It's going to be on Payarvi. He was trying to hunt the puck. I think there's a little chemistry going on there, though. But Tarasenko moved the puck in a small area of the ice. Payarvi went right to that area, and he got it. And as he was going around the net, he's waiting for the call by the referee there. But as he's going around the net, he's trying to push Eller off. He lost control of his stick. You see, Payarvi lost control, so now he's trying to get the grip of his stick back again, and as he's doing so, he ends up with a little tug right there on the former first-rounder, Lars Eller.
And the Canadiens on the power play. 0 for 2 tonight.
2 minutes for Coldman.
And a holding minor at 28 seconds. Pass on to Markov. Dropped off Subban, now in on the wing for Desharnais. Desharnais up front with Gallagher and Pacioretty. Markov out high. Pacioretty. And around for Desharnais. Subban thought about shooting there. Watched by Steen. Desharnais to the corner. Now back on the line against Subban. A drive. That hit Pietrangelo up high and hits the glass. Canadiens swing it back again. Subban now to Markov. He moves in, looking for the backdoor feed. That was intended for Desharnais. And now Pacioretty for Subban. And then back to Pacioretty. Gallagher trying to get open in front. Desharnais back on the goal. And he was checked by Pietrangelo, and then it's flipped high by Oshie.
I'll tell you something. What a play just moments ago with Gallagher and Pietrangelo. And Pietrangelo took that puck right in the helmet.
I thought he took it up high.
Yeah, second time. Let's go back a few games ago.
Now Subban a drive. That's blocked by Schwartz, and it's off his stick to center ice.
Great effort there by Schwartz. Got right in the shooting lane against a guy that can really let her fly.
And the Blues do have a short-handed goal tonight. Now Plekanec in for Galchenyuk. Back to Plekanec. Moves right in. A shot, and that just missed on the far side. Markov to Subban. One time and a glove save by Halak. Not all the way.
That's a beauty there. Roman Polak does a nice job of boxing out, but a quick mitt there by Halak against Subban. An easy little pass right on the numbers, and you see Gionta just trying to get across. But here's the play before that. A cross-check that pushes Pietrangelo in a vulnerable spot as that one-timer is coming, and it actually took a piece of the helmet off the lid of Alex Pietrangelo. He didn't like it. I didn't like it either. That's a dangerous play right there.
Yeah, that was Gallagher who did that. Diaz for Galchenyuk. He moves in, tipped on goal by Plekanec, and a big save there by Halak on Plekanec.
That's a neat little setup. Little pass shot. Angling of the stick with the redirection. Gionta's in front of the net. To your left now, it's going to come right there. And nearly squeezes through between the elbow and the side of the body. Great job by Halak to fight that one off and squeeze it.
And Bouwmeester getting ready for the faceoff, breaks his stick.
That's usually a problem. It's a mini stick. It's a good little stick for floor hockey.
And thankfully it broke before they dropped the puck. 11 to go in the power play. And Lapierre digs in against Placanis. Placanis draws it back now for Diaz. To Galchenyuk. Down low, there's that down low play again intended for Placanis. And now the Blues get Payarvi back. Canadians 2 shots. Galchenyuk with it. Sliding is Pietrangelo to break it up. And now Bouwmeester knocks into the far side. Morrow comes along, wins a battle there, or rather Steen, and the puck onto center ice for Pietrangelo. So a good solid kill by the Blues and a couple of key saves by Halak. That keeps it at 3-1 for the Blues. Now Lars Eller at center ice. Here's Cole back for Polak. And Stewart tips it down the ice. The Blues have gone 5-0-3 this year against Canadian teams. And including tonight, they'll play the next 3 against Canadian clubs.
Talk about the value, too, of the cornerstone players that Doug Armstrong was talking about. Alex Pietrangelo reads this perfectly. Slides across, and all Galchenyuk can do is slide a little heel-to-toe over top of him. He forces him into a bad spot, and that would also enable the goalie to get in good position. That's just a really intelligent play. Then he gets help on the other side, guys. With Steen comes in, strips the man of the puck, plays it to Pietrangelo, and they get out of their zone. And you can talk about the offensive side of the puck all you want. I think what's really unique about the Blues players that are signed to long-term deals is the fact that they are good on the defensive side of the puck.
Well, if you're going to play for Hitch, he calls it a 200-foot game. You had better be good in your own end. And Steen is as good as anybody. You would have to say is a top candidate for a lot of awards, including the Selke as best defensive forward. And that goes off a body and out of play. Well, looking for a great outing for your group. How about a Blues game? Bring a group of 20 or more to your next Blues game and save big money on tickets. Give us a call at 622-5454 to discuss your next group outing. Eller off the faceoff. He goes ahead with it. Shattenkirk now for Jackman. And he is run over back of the goal by Rennie Bourque. And now we get a penalty here, and this one will go against Berglund. Another hold.
No, it's Lars Eller.
Lars Eller, yeah.
Okay.
Lars Eller.
How about he was pointing at Berglund?
Against Berglund. And I'm sure that Michel Therrien, the head coach of the Montreal Canadiens, can't be happy with these minor penalties for holding and hooking 200 feet from his own net. Lots of penalties down below the goal line. And here we can see the reach out right there, and he just goes in there and grabs the arm. I mean, makes for an easy call for the official, who's about 5 feet away from that play.
Yeah, the battles are strange tonight. Instead of skating, everybody seems to be grabbing a hold and hanging on.
Yeah, tugging and gliding.
Weird.
Tugging and gliding.
Yeah, weird.
0 for 5 on the power play of the Blues. Steen has led the way with 2 goals. Stewart has the other. Gallagher has scored for Montreal. Canadians clear it. And this goes all the way down. Shattenkirk and Pietrangelo, the point men on this power play up front. It is Roy, Oshie, and Steen. And Placanis kills some more time.
And, you know, Montreal obviously playing the clock down by 2 on shorthanded, but they've scored 4 shorthanded goals. They'll take some chances here, I would imagine.
And now it's Roy. That shot blocked. And then Roy's pass to the back, and it goes right between the point men, Pietrangelo and Shattenkirk. And the Blues have to regroup. Now Pietrangelo with 40 gone in the power play. Steen moves it in. Look out, a high shot by Murray on Steen. And they go after Murray. Steen is all right, and he glared back at Murray after that hit, and from our perspective, at least mine, that looked to be a shot toward the head, if not on the head.
You know, it was a funny play because, you know, it appeared like it was going to be offside. It was developing. It ended up being offside, but Steen ended up with the puck behind him, reaching behind him, and then so he obviously, if we can see this position here, now he's looking away from it, and it's definitely a shot to the head, but the hands of Murray are low, if I'm not mistaken. kind of a funny kind of play because of the positioning of Steen's head as he was looking backwards on that play.
Yeah, that puck was offside. I mean, it was in the skates of Roy, and then he pulled out of the skates, and before the whistle, actually, I think you could hear the whistle at the same time the hit was made, and Murray did, I think, turn his shoulder, Panger, to hit Steen, and it looked dangerous. I think probably looked more dangerous than it really was.
Well, Murray goes about 240. He can hit. And thankfully, Steen is all right on the Blues bench. Now Plekanec comes in against Bouwmeester, who does a good job, and now Stewart cleans up the mess. On to center ice for Pietrangelo. And that rolls in on Price. He gives it away right to Stewart. Now Stewart centers it. Here's Berglund with a tough angle. And a pad save by Price. And the Canadians shoot it down the near side and all the way down with 30 seconds left in Ehlers Minor.
I'll tell you, with that hit that took place, Bernie, the guy that got the worst of it, Brandon Prust.
Yeah, exactly.
He got tripped up by Steen and landed on his head.
And now it goes in behind the goal, picked up by Shattenkirk. He feeds Stewart, fakes it onto Cole. Blues get set up in the power play. Stewart again. Quick shot off a stick and wide. Now Steen, he slows it down. Back to Cole. Shattenkirk a one-timer and a save by Price. And Eller is back. Canadians to center ice. And here he comes, Eller with Prust. Into Prust, and that pass too hot to handle, too high. Blues had 2 shots on that power play. And now it comes up the near side. Steen there against Yemelin. And his shot blocker saved by Halak. And it is Jaden Schwartz on the far side. Off Cracknell, now back for Shattenkirk. As we have played 6 minutes in this third period, the Blues leading 3-1. Trying to break a 2-game winless streak. Lapierre down the boards. And that pass blocked. Canadians try to come up the left wing side. Cracknell held it in. And now it is Porter. And he's got some room back in the cage. Porter, Lapierre, and Cracknell. And then Yemelin emerges with it. The puck does get to the line, but Jackman held it in. And now Diaz clears it away for the Canadians. Here's Gallagher. To Pacioretty. Trying to put a head fake on Jackman. A save by Halak, and he keeps his balance and keeps it out. And again, we get some pushing here after the whistle. As the former Canadian goaltender, Jaromír Halak, makes another save to keep it at 3-1.
And now for a Bommarito Automotive Sports update. Tonight in Philly, Blue Jackets leading 4-3 in the third, but Claude Giroux takes over this game, ties it, and then he scores the eventual game winner late goals, number 8 and 9 on the season for Giroux. 5-4 Flyers, the final. Guys, back up to you.
What a comeback. 3 goals in the last 5 minutes by the Flyers. And they win it 5-4.
I mean, Drew's just getting hot at the right time for that Canadian Olympic team, maybe, huh, Panger?
Yeah, no question about that. He was off the grid for a little while.
Oh.
He just landed again.
Like his team, they had terrible starts. Well, Price almost gave that away up the middle. And now the Canadians break it up, and here they come. Gionta darts in, and a shot tipped on goal, and a save by Halak.
Good position.
On a tricky shot.
Yeah, he's on top of his crease. You can see Jarro seeing no side effects from those awkward bounces that he faced in that last game, as San Jose did a phenomenal job of using the boards here at Scottrade Center. I mean, they use the boards better than any team that's come in here. And here's that last save. Good positioning. Now when he tracks it now he gets himself up and on his skate, on his edges, doesn't stay on his knees for an extended period of time. Then he's ready for the next one if there was one.
And the faceoff controlled by the Blues. Gallagher gets it back at center ice. He has the Montreal goal. This is grabbed by Pietrangelo. Now Schwartz at center ice. Can't find any room. Gallagher gets it off the wall, drops it off Desharnais and drive. That was blocked. And the Blues head the other way. Schwartz can't move it in. Oshie will pluck it back for Shattenkirk. Shots are carried 5-2 Montreal. But for the game, 25-19 for the Blues. 2-3-1. Now Oshie to center ice. Turned over Gallagher again, and Gallagher is dumped by Oshie. And the Blues at center. Oshie gets a piece of this one, so there is no icing. And some bad blood at center ice. Oshie having words.
Yeah, I think the Montreal Canadiens do a good job of holding those lines. They're aggressive.
And now Morrow trying to get down low on Diaz. Stewart supports. And the puck away from the corner. Now stolen by Garrett. Roy a drive. Roy another shot. Stewart in front and pounced over his stick. And then Shattenkirk out high. Couple of good chances there. Barrett Jackman a drive. And that was blocked in the slot by Diaz. And the Canadiens march the other way. Now down the wall for Eller. Eller turns and a shot, and that goes wide on the short side. And Morrow stuck his head right in there, trying to poke it away, but it stays in the zone. Now Jackman tries. And Murray pinches in for the Canadiens. And then Morrow on a second opportunity won't. And now he does get the puck to center ice, and he fires it in deep and goes off.
He's talking to big Douglas Murray this morning after their skate. And first thing he asked is, how's Brendan Morrow doing? I'm like, Brendan Morrow, how do you... Forgot that they were together last year with the Penguins. Morrow went in there as a trade deadline player, and so did Douglas Murray from San Jose. And he nearly decapitated him right there on that step-up.
So much for former teammates. And this is an offside. With 10:30 left, Blues' next game is Saturday night in Edmonton. A late start. 9 o'clock face-off time, St. Louis time. That means we're on the air at 8:30 on Fox Sports Midwest. It's the Blues' only appearance on Hockey Night in Canada this year.
And there is the big Swede, Douglas Murray. And he plays the game that way. And he holds lines. He's not the quickest guy in the world. There's no question about that. But he has good hockey sense to defend. Knows where to put him, that big body. Knows where to put him, and knows where to step up and when not to.
This is stolen by Tarasenko to the net, and Price kept it out of there. And of course the Blues faced Murray and the Sharks a couple of years ago in the playoffs, and here's Bouwmeester drive, bounces on goal, and a save by Price. But Darren, looking back at that series, Oshie and Murray had a couple of huge hits in Game 3 in that series.
Yeah, they did. And for a guy like TJ Oshie that's 190 pounds going up against a guy that's 245 pounds, I mean, you're talking about the balance you have to have, the timing you have to have, and many times TJ Oshie knocked that big fella off his skates, and it became quite a battle. It was a battle of the trenches, and that's where San Jose really changed their game. They're now a much more explosive transition game than they were. They had Douglas Murray and Ryan Clough as two examples that they moved along.
Along with Handzus.
And Handzus, and they became a much quicker team.
Now Shattenkirk chops it around for Steen. Elbow feed for Schwartz. And now to the aforementioned Oshie. In on Desharnais. Oshie tried to get to the front. He's denied. And then a pass tipped away. Steen holds it in. Someone's broken his stick. That's the Canadian player, Yemelin. And now walked along by Gallagher. Plekanec. And that is chipped into the glove of Halak. As Plekanec had a decent chance on the right wing. And again, Gallagher battles in front. Blues lead 3-1 here in the third.
Time for our BMO Harris Bank Check replays of the game. This is right off the hop. That's the opening faceoff. Down goes Berglund. And then Shattenkirk with a good hit there. Roman Polak steps up on Max Pacioretty, but then Bournival dumps the big fella, and he hits his head into the net after tripping over Jackman. And there's that hit on the delayed offside by Douglas Murray on Steen, but Brandon Prust takes the brunt of that one. Not in a good way.
Not easy to say.
No, not for me. Tonight.
As Eller takes the face-off against Berglund. 9:26 left. And the Blues with a 3-1 lead. And the face-off is taken care of by Polak. And his pass hits the leg of Bournival. Then Polak clips Bournival down as they came together. And PRB gets a piece of this one. And it goes in deep. Now Berglund throws it back on the goal for Tarasenko. Right in front of Payarvi. Bouncing puck, Berglund, a backhander, and that went wide. And now grabbed by Douglas Murray. Kept in by Berglund. And then Payarvi draws a crowd. Away from the pack, Tarasenko and Bourque slash each other. Puck to center and pushed back in by Ian Cole. And the Blues and Canadians make changes on the fly. Now Diaz for Georges. And that goes by Pietrangelo. Halak out to play it. For Pietrangelo. Pacioretty in to steal it for the Canadians. And now Pietrangelo again. Now a shot by Desharnais and a save by Halak. And then Gallagher. Subban trying to pinch in. He does. And then Derek Roy puts it off the glass. The stick comes up on the Blues player Morrow. Play goes on. And Morrow is stunned. And he'll go off. Subban walks in. Subban and a shot just wide there by Gallagher. As he had some room on right wing. And now Stewart chops the puck to center ice for Schwartz. 3-on-2 here. Schwartz comes in and drive. And a save there by Price.
Well, Brendan Gallagher's been all over it in this hockey game. He's got the only goal for the Montreal Canadiens, and certainly not a big guy, but he gets in the middle of everything. But you see here, as not only does he hit him from behind, but then his stick hits him up high. So basically, Brendan Morrow gets the whiplash from the hit from behind that he doesn't expect, and then he gets the stick up high.
Right on the chops.
And the puck wasn't anywhere near Brendan Morrow.
And now Steen wins the faceoff for Shattenkirk. After 2 periods, Steen winning 64% of the draws.
That's darn good considering he came into this game at 46.5.
Now Schwartz shoots. He scores. Schwartz, his ninth.
Well, Schwartz had a chance just moments before that. He could have dropped it back to Pietrangelo or fired it, and he fired it. He's got a quick release, a deceptive release, and as a left-hand shot, he takes a nice pass there from TJ Oshie. That springs him loose, and this is a wicked little snapper that looks like it goes through the arm of the goaltender, Carey Price. Yes, right between the 7-hole there, between the blocker and the side of the body. So Carey Price is given one in the 6-hole over the head and in the net, one 7-hole through the arm and in the net.
Good shot. He has a very deceptively quick shot.
Yeah, he does. I always found those very difficult to stop from a left-hander going through your arm because your blocker's out to the side. Very tough play to make and a perfect shot.
And now we have a penalty called. I think it's on Ian Cole. As he held up a Canadian player.
Yeah, Brandon Prust on the far side driving through, and Travis Moen having some words there with Porter.
The goal to Schwartz from Oshie and Shattenkirk at 12:21. The 9th of the year for Jaden Schwartz.
There's a play, Porter right there, and Brandon Prust, who Prust obviously holds him up right there. And then just that little shove right there, a little push from behind on Moen. And there's the interference because it had been dumped in already. So I think if Cole has a step up a little sooner and there's not so much time expiring from that dump in, it doesn't get called. But I think it's hard for the defenseman because I think more and more they're giving a little bit more leeway to the defenseman to make that first play. Even though the player dumps it in. Just that first push.
Canadians on the power play 0 for 3. Schwartz is on quite a roll with that goal. Now 6 goals and 13 points in his last 13 games. And Desharnais walks it in. Gallagher to Desharnais. Pass in front, Pacioretty. And a lock got over, read it very well. And he makes the save.
Good play to slide back over to his right against Max Pacioretty, a player that's likely destined for the USA roster in the upcoming Olympic Games. But by the time Oshie slid, I think that bought a little bit of time for his goaltender, Halak, to keep going over to his right, getting in good position.
And he's the hottest Canadian with 12 goals in his last 15 games. Subban now ahead for Pacioretty. Toward the goal, this is Pietrangelo. And away from the traffic and off the glass. And this kills some time. For the Canadians, this is almost a must-score power play, down by 3. Subban to Desharnais. And now Gionta jumps in. Pacioretty tips it back to the line to Markov. And now it's Desharnais on the far side for Gionta. Jackman comes over on Pacioretty. And then as Carter Pollock comes back to help out. And it's away from that pack, picked up by Tarasenko, and he'll wander back to center ice. With 45 to go in the power play. And PK Subban, good forecheck there by Steen. And now Subban trying to get away. Placanitz at center ice. See Galchenyuk. And then fired off the glass by Pietrangelo. Good kill here by the Blues. And now Georges down the near wing for Gionta. Golmeister back for the Blues. It's Placanitz beating the line. And over for Georges. With a screen in front, a shot. And a save by Halak. It's picked up by Oshie. Yes, Halak with a major screen in front. Blues are back at full strength. Canadians had 2 shots on that power play.
I like the stance of Jaro Halak. He was really firm on his line, but he also got some help. Once that puck was loose, you need some help because there's often you can't track it down. And I think the battle level of Jaro Halak in this game has been good, but the help in front of him, too, has been real urgent.
Jaro has never lost against his old club, going 3-0. As Derek Roy finds Stewart wide open, and a drive, and he missed. Trying to go top corner. Almost at his second tonight. And Rennie Bork tosses one back the other way.
Funny how things happen now with Chris Stewart. He seems to be handling the puck a lot more in this game. Used to be, for the first part, I know he was frustrated. Every time he'd have it on his stick, it was off. The play was kind of in and out. And now he's become a bigger part of the play.
Yeah, getting more chances every night. Now Lars Eller drops it off. Bork shot blocked. And then it's Eller again. For Yemelin, that's blocked by a sliding Cracknell. And the Blues played off the boards and out with 4:10 left in regulation. Cracknell in a race here. Almost got there ahead of Yemelin. And now the Canadians regrouping at their own line. It's Bornevall. And that bounces wide of Halak. Cole makes the safe play up for Cracknell. Takes the hit. And Porter chops one to center ice. And now Josh Georges wanders back in for the Canadians. Good job by Steen on the far side. Now Steen trying to hit Schwartz. That goes over his stick and far enough for icing against the Blues.
As that 4th Blues goal meets all ticket holders.
Well, students, before you head back to school for spring semester, join us for Student Night on January 2nd as the Blues take on the Kings. Students with a valid ID can purchase tickets for as low as $22 at the Ford box office. Go to stlouisblues.com/students for more information. 3.5 left here. And a harmless shot by Gallagher, turned away by Halak. Now it's Desharnais. Steen gets it back for the Blues. Schwartz, and he'll fire the puck to center ice. From the boards, a drive. That's blocked in front, and now Steen. He'll sprint right up the middle, 3-on-2. He comes in. Steen a drive. That was blocked at the defense. Steen looking for his 3rd tonight.
And as soon as he released the puck, look who's in front of him, big Douglas Murray. He's not worried about the puck. He's going to take his man, and Steen, boy, not sure if Steen was aware that was Douglas Murray right there. Got dumped by him.
I think he has the number of that trade, doesn't he?
Well, the story of the 2010 Stanley Cup playoffs was the goaltender from Slovakia, Jaroslav Halak. He'd taken over the #1 goaltending duties from Carey Price. He was the most talked about athlete in Montreal and around the NHL. What he did against Washington and Pittsburgh, winning Game 7 on the road, was absolutely incredible. And his numbers against Montreal since that trade have been perfect. But I think when general managers made a call to Montreal, they knew Montreal had a choice. And I think a lot of managers might have called over there saying, is Carey Price, where are you going to move? Carey Price? And Pierre Gauthier was the GM at the time. And then Yaroslav Halak's name came up, and Doug Armstrong quickly pounced on the deal.
Here's a turnover. Lapierre! It gets a goal. Club. Lapierre!
And the guys on the ice waited for Cracknell to come over because, boy, did he take it on the chin to make a play. And for Max Lapierre, he gets on the board against his former club. Keep your eye on the far side. Hit against Big Douglas Murray, and he goes down hard. And by the time that happens there, Murray coughs the puck up because of the forecheck there of Cracknell. And then the puck squirts loose to number 40, Max Lapierre.
Whose first NHL goal was scored almost to the day 7 years ago as the Canadiens played Tampa Bay. The goalie that night for Tampa Bay, Marc Denis, who's doing color tonight for the Canadiens.
Wow. Marc Denis does a great job for RDS.
And Lapierre gets the goal from Cracknell to break it open. It's 5-1. And now Payarvi down the wall. Tarasenko for Pietrangelo. And that shot blocked. Pietrangelo again. Off a stick. Here's Morrow off the bench. And he goes to the end boards with Yemelin. So the goal by Lapierre is third. Makes it 5-1. That's his first goal in 18 games. And Pollock shuffles that one to the corner. So there, this is quite a response by a Blues team that is still without some key players, including Sabotka and Backus, not to mention Reeves and Leopold, to come back after losing to San Jose the other night.
Yeah, good bounce-back game here, for sure, against a very good club in the Eastern Conference. And again, the Blues in their last 6 against Montreal, 5-0-1. So along with Jaro Halak, the Blues have played a great team game against Montreal.
Now Subban trying to step up on Pollock. Morrow comes over, and he and Subban want to go. Here they go. They drop the gloves. And the linesman, Katie Scherers, steps in before Subban and Morrow can get together.
I would say that's a shame. Two players wanted to go at it. PK took exception with the battle that they had on the boards with Brendan Morrow. They've had some battles in front of the net. And this has been a funny game this way because every time there have been battles around the net and the animosity seemed to pick up, honestly, the timing of it has been terrible during the game. TV timeouts, almost every single time it's happened. So there hasn't been that continuity. There hasn't been that sustained element of animosity in this game. It's been broken up by just the timeliness of TV commercials.
Yeah, and I think, Panger, though, the fact that it's, it's an out-of-division game, and, I mean, these teams don't see each other very often, and didn't see each other last year. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to get mad at somebody when you don't see them that often.
There's Morrow comes in after, says something right there to Subban, and now he says, come on, let's get her going here. Let's go. Gloves are off. Both guys got the gloves off. But
and they get unsportsmanlike conduct minors. So they're done for the night. And we play the final 35 seconds here at Scott Trade. Now Lapierre hands it back to Jackman to drive. That's off a stick. And it hits the glass behind Price.
Yep. Moen doesn't like. He and Porter had words before.
Now Wright and Lapierre having words at center. Yeah. Along with Porter and Moen.
Now the 232s, I thought they were going to square off earlier. Remember when Halak had made a save and to his left, the 232s, but...
And that will do it. Blues win it 5-1 the final.
Blues go to 23-7-4 and snap that one-game losing streak as Tom Stillman and his family look on. Terrific stuff here at Scottrade. Why wouldn't it be? It's a 5-1 win against the Montreal Canadiens.
And Alexander Steen leads the way with 2 goals, including the game winner.
And he got some good goaltending from Jaro Halak, but there is your Bud Light player of the game. Blues fans wait. Blues fans are waiting for the players to salute, and there they go.
A convincing 5-1 win.
2 goals by Steen, his 23rd and 24th at 4:20 and 7:55 of the first period. He's loaded with a new 3-year contract extension starting next year, and he is our Bud Light player of the game.
Let's go to Tom Calhoun for tonight's 3 stars.
Let's meet the Bud Light 3 stars of tonight's game. The game's 3rd star, recording 2 assists and playing at a forward for the Blues, number 74, TJ Oshie. The game's 2nd star, stopping 25 of 26 Montreal shots. In goal for the Blues, number 41, Yaroslav Halak. And the game's 1st star, scoring his 23rd and 24th goals of the season. And a forward for the Blues, number 20, Alexander Steen.
Yes, indeed, the 1st star. Alex, you know what? A new contract, but the same old player. How good did it feel tonight to get the first couple of goals?
It was good. I think we've spoken the last little while about our starts, and I think Berkey's line did a great job of getting us going tonight, and to be able to pop a couple in, go into the first intermission with a few goals was a nice difference from the way it's been going last little while.
You look at the Montreal Canadiens, they've won 24 Stanley Cups. Does that make it a little easier to get yourself motivated to play against them?
Yeah, we know they have a good team, and they play very hard, physical games. I think like I said, last little while focus has been on ourselves. I think we've been playing against good teams and really shooting ourselves in the foot with our starts, and at times for mediocre play, but we've shown the start of the year, and then sometimes how good and heavy we can be when we play down low, and I thought we did a good job of that tonight, and then Jaro made some key saves for us when the game was going back and forth a little bit, so it was a good all-round win, but we got another 2 before the Christmas break, so we're going to try and get 4 more points.
Well, congratulations on the goals. You're now tied with your career high, and congratulations on the new contract, and get some rest. You got a couple more before Christmas.
Thanks, man.
What a great job by Alexander Steen again, Pat, as he was once again the 1st star. No surprise. Let's go back upstairs to you, Pat.
Bernie, thank you very much. No surprise at all. Terrific job, but Bernie in a great point. New contract, but same old Alexander Steen, scoring his 23rd and 24th goals of the season, setting the tone early for the Blues. They take that 3-0 lead into the dressing room at the first intermission. They don't look back, and they win it going away 5-1, the final. Coming up next, of course, it's Missouri Lottery Blues Live. Darren Pang will join me here in the Bud Light Zone. We'll get the thoughts of John Kelly and plenty more reaction as well. Stay with us on the home of the Blues, Fox Sports Midwest.